in the spiritual part of our boat. And most of us think, well, that's all right. It's just that part of the boat. The rest of my boat is very mazboot. It's getting stronger day by day. But what's happening is we're sinking. And it's that sinking that is leading us suddenly and tragically to have to take stress management classes. But why is it started? Why are we leaking in the spiritual part of our boat? India is the spiritual nation of the world. The rest of the world turns to India for spirituality. How is it possible that now we are leaking in the spiritual side of our boat? What's happened to me, from what I've seen, is that we have literally begun to try to squeeze orange juice out of a cow. Now, a cow gives milk, which is wonderful, nourishing, nurturing. Orange juice is also wonderful, but you've got to squeeze oranges for it. It doesn't matter how adamant you are about getting orange juice out of the cow. It doesn't matter how much dedication or commitment or 24 hours a day you squeeze. It doesn't matter how much you pay that cow. It is impossible for a cow, even if it wanted to give you orange juice out of its udders. And that's what's happening in our lives. We're looking for peace, looking for joy, looking for real happiness, looking for meaning in our life, looking for fulfillment. But where are we looking? In the shopping centers, in the catalogs, on a shelf, in a store. We've begun to believe that somehow, if we only own this, or could achieve that, or had a bank balance of this much, or could drive this type of car, or got invited to that party, or had this title, then I'd be happy. Then I'd be in peace. And it sounds absurd, but we actually believe it. Look at the advertising business. It's $1 billion industry. And if you want to sell anything, how do you sell it? Through peace and happiness. Let's look at soap, for example. What does soap do? It cleans us. So if I were going to do a truthful advertisement for soap, I would say, this brand of soap cleans you better than that brand of soap. But I don't. What do our soap advertisements look like? A beautiful woman is singing in the shower in the morning as she's lathering up in the shower, and she can't wait to greet this new day. And her equally beautiful husband comes into the bathroom, and he's also singing. And then they walk out, and miraculously her child is already dressed and ready for school and has had his breakfast. Everybody's happy, harmony. It's a soap commercial. But what are we selling? We're selling happiness. And it sounds ridiculous when I stand in front of you and say it, but if we didn't believe it, the people who wrote these advertisements would not be being paid millions of dollars for these advertisements. On some level, we see these commercials and we think, aha, that's the problem. If only I switch my brand of soap, then I too will sing in the morning. My husband and I will stop fighting. He'll also come in the bathroom singing. I'll stop having to drag my kid out of bed miraculously. He'll also be ready and have had his breakfast. That's what we're selling. Look at car commercials. I mean, what does a car do? Gets us from point A to point B, ideally safely in one piece. We should talk about things like airbags and seatbelts and brakes, but we don't. We show pictures of happy families piling out of the newest model of whatever type of car it is. A car on the open highway, freedom, peace, quiet. We're not selling cars and soap. we're selling peace. We're selling joy. We're selling happiness. And the reason that we're selling it is because we're all looking for it. If we had it within us, we would never believe that by shifting our brand of soap, we'd actually achieve anything other than perhaps being cleaner. There's a story of a woman who's in the middle of the road one night, and she's bending down and she's searching for something. And a man walks by, a wise man, and he says, "Mother, let me help you. What are you looking for?" She says, "I've lost my key." "Oh," he says, "all right." He gets down and he also starts searching with her. And after some time, he says, "Mother, where did you lose your key?" "Oh, I left it in the house," she says. "Then why in the world are you searching in the street for it?" And she says, "Because there's this very bright street light, and inside it's dark. I have no light. So I thought, let me come out here under this very bright light where I could look." And he says, "Mother, go back inside. It may be dark, but an army couldn't help you find your key out here because it doesn't exist." But that's what we do. It's very bright in the shopping centers. It's very bright in the internet catalogs. It's very bright outside. We don't know the way inside. So we think, "Chalo, let us look outside where it's bright." And I want to clarify something for a moment. I'm not saying that buying everything and having everything can't go with happiness and peace. It can. If the woman were in the road enjoying the moonlight, if she were taking a stroll, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with being in the road in the night. The problem was that she was looking for her key. And in the same way, there's nothing wrong with having every model of car, having every possession, shopping. The only problem is with thinking that we're going to find the key to peace, the key to joy, the key to meaning in those things. And what's amazing about it, and actually makes it very simple, is that everything we are looking for, love, peace, joy, all of these things are actually a desire for expansion. The self is trying to expand. Think about it for a moment. What is the miracle of love? When you are deeply in love, what happens? There's no I, there's no you, there's only us. For a moment, the borders, the boundaries that block me from you, they've disappeared. We've united, we've become one. We've expanded. Look at the words that we use to talk about joy and peace. We talk about oceans and waves and volcanoes and swimming and bathing and melting and merging. They're words of expansion. They're words of a self that has gone beyond the flesh and the bones that identify me. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for expansion. And the reason we're looking for expansion is that the self's nature is expansive. This is Indian culture. I'm not telling you anything new. The self is infinite. The self is boundless. And we're trying to return to that source.